Hey y'all, CB here once again at NBS Welding. Excited today to have another little motorcycle gizmo to work on, and we're going to be TIG welding some more aluminum. My buddy RJ up at Smitty Suzuki hollered at me, and they're doing a restoration on this bike. I'm not sure what it exactly is. But he noticed right away that someone had already welded a patch on this engine case. And so it looks like it was probably patched when the engine was assembled. And they probably didn't take it apart, is my guess. So if we look at the inside, you know, it hasn't been worked on the inside. So here's the thing about this. Since they're doing a restoration on this, and he's got the engine apart, now obviously it could be welded on the inside and repaired a little bit better. And if it's welded on the inside, we wouldn't have the patch and the bulge on the outside, which I think is part of what they're trying to get away from. And I'm almost 100% sure this is aluminum. I'm almost positive it's cast aluminum. But in the case of a case, you always got to wonder, is it magnesium or is it aluminum? Because if it's magnesium, you need to TIG weld it with a magnesium filler. And if it's aluminum, you'd use an aluminum filler. So just to be sure, we're going to want to do a test on this. So here in the simple green container, obviously we got vinegar. And right here on the inside of the engine case, we're going to dribble a little bit of vinegar. And it looks like water. And the reason that the vinegar lands on this and looks like water is because this is cast aluminum. If this case were magnesium, like some of the clutch covers and things that you do run into, that would turn white and foam up and make bubbles. It's not doing that, so we know that what we're dealing with here is aluminum. Got that container full of grinding stones that's pretty heavy, and it's plastic, so it's not going to conduct electricity. Got a wrench jammed in it right here holding that. I have a clamp right here that is touching the table. It's a steel clamp, so the ground would be going through here to the inside of here, which is that's a fine place to ground it. That's no problem, and I can just have my ground clamp on the table. And we'll build this up in here before we do anything to the other side. Just as well take advantage of the fact that this has got a patch, you know, on the outside. We're basically going to be using that as a backing strip to get our weld built up on the inside. And once that's fixed on the inside, then we could go to the outside and, you know, start to work on the way it looks more, so that we could eliminate some of the bulge on the outside that we don't really need. I've been welding along on this thing. I welded on the inside and I got that repaired all ready to weld on the outside. And I started welding on the outside. One of the things I realized was there's a recessed area right there where that one patch was. And in order to sand this, I want to try to sand this into a rounded shape, you know, to make it look like, I'll do the best I can to make it look like it hadn't been worked on, you know, when I get done. I don't know how they'll finish it, polish it, or whatever. I don't really do the polishing so much, but I will do the shaping of it. But the issue that I've ran into, I was welding along. There's an area right here that I saw that I needed to fill in because there was some porosity from where it had been welded before. And when I was welding right there, it blew out and gave me a bunch of contamination. And I was wondering, why did it do that? And I found out the reason why is because of this bolt hole that was right here. So what happened was, where there was a bolt hole tapped, there's probably some kind of filter or something that gets bolted inside of this with that 6mm bolt. And so there wasn't any metal on the other side where I'd welded. There wasn't any aluminum, and obviously since there was a hole clear through there, that would have caused me contamination. The big reason that would give me contamination is with that bolt hole there, air could get from the other side. Now, our argon gas that's blowing on this side, you know, that's there. The argon shielding provides the shielding that protects this molten metal from the atmosphere. The molten metal cannot be exposed to the atmosphere when it's molten without contamination. So when you blow through something like that, and there's a void there that you weren't aware of, the atmosphere exists on the other side, but there's no shield gas. So you get contamination. And what I've done here is I went and got a 6mm bolt and put it in the other side. So in effect, what I've done is I've sealed it off. And of course the bolt was longer than it needed to be, so I stuck a nut there. I put it in as far as it looked like there was threads. I don't see any more threads past that. So what I'm trying to do with the bolt is I'm trying to seal off the atmosphere from contaminating my weld from the other side. And probably the main reason that this might work and allow me to weld this up is because the melting temperature of this aluminum is way, way lower than that bolt. You'd have to get that bolt close to 3,000 degrees to melt it. This aluminum melts around 9 to 1200. So this gives us a possibility of welding this up and weld it up and then take the bolt out. And if there's some thread issue here, my buddy that at the bike shop, he's a master engine builder, and I'm sure he's got a 6mm bottom tap to where we can, make sure that that bolt will go in, later. You'd want to, I'll let him know that we want to make sure that, that those threads are good. I'll let him know that I had to dick with it. And, whatever it takes, even if I end up, if he can't get the threads that he wants there, I'll weld it up solid and we'll completely rethread it. It doesn't act like we need to do that at this point, but I'll go ahead and weld this up with the bolt in it and see if this little bolt trick works to prevent the contamination from the atmosphere coming through the other side. Got my welding done. Took that bolt out, and I'm not seeing any real problems. Getting ready to put the respirator on and do some sanding and get this shaped up. And unfortunately, although I would like to take this area right here completely down to this plane and shape it around just like that, I'm not going to be able to do that on this. I could tell there's something contaminated in there and I can't get it out. I couldn't get it to float out. This area, I'm going to point to it again. This area here, maybe it has to do with the bolt and the bolt hole. I don't know. I don't know if there's oil. I don't know what it is. But in this area right here, there are voids in that aluminum. And I just had to feed rod until I got it pure. I couldn't float it out and make it pure. And of course, we're dealing with cast. So who knows? You know, it's not a forged aluminum. So there's nothing, you know, it's a porous material. But I'm going to put a respirator on and get shaping on it, and I'll just shape it best I can. Got her dead. And like I said, there's quite a bit of that right there. That if it wasn't for the contamination under there, I would probably grind that down more. But I'm grinding into contamination that I was trying to solidify with the TIG, and it's contamination that doesn't want to float out. Got plenty of weld inside of there, and if my buddy finds that some of that needs removed, you know, that's no problem. If he's got to grind some out for clearance, he'll know what clearance is required, but that's pretty much what it's going to look like. You know, it doesn't look nearly as boogered up as it did when it had the patch on there and the weld. That's another one for the ARCCAPTAIN TIG 200. I really like that as an AC TIG machine on the cast aluminum and you know, regular aluminum. So thanks for watching. Hey y'all, I'm getting a video put together where I was doing some TIG work on the aluminum motorcycle part. And I got something I want to show y'all. Pretty excited about it. My buddy Kenny gave me this. Him and his wife are starting a business doing this. I want to show you this cup. This is one of these tumbler cups, an insulated cup. I want to show you the lid. Nice lid. It's got the seal on it, and then it's got this this slide closure. Fits real nice in the cup. So he made this NBS welding cup, and him and his wife are doing this. What this is on here, I think, which I'm not an expert, but he said it's a wrap. So he prints a wrap and installs it on the cup. The other things it comes with, get this open, there's a nice stainless straw, and then it comes with this. Obviously, this is what you'd clean the inside of the straw with if you needed to get in here and clean it out. So he was talking about he's given me this one. This one's mine. And he's talking about saying, you know, the only thing he wants for this cup that he's given me is for me to try to get him some publicity for the business. And here's what I'm proposing to do. I have no intentions of making a dime off this. If there's money to be made here, I want it to be for Kenny. And what I want out of it would be just for the channel. And before, I didn't catch Kenny in time with the idea that I had, because the morning after he had already made this, I come up with my own idea about it. And here's my idea. If you look at how he made this, there's actually on the top and bottom where you got the bull, the NBS bull and the circle and the slash, there's 4 of them. There's 4 of them around here. The idea that I thought of on a cup like this would be to not only have the bull, but to have the QR code that you can scan with a smartphone that takes you directly to the YouTube channel NBS Welding. So obviously, like, Kenny gave me this cup. This one's mine. I'll use it. This is my NBS Welding cup. The cups that I propose that he makes, and I want to know, you guys please comment. Tell me what you think about this. The cups that he makes, I think, should have a bull and a bull. So straight across from each other at the bottom, there would be a bull and a bull. And then straight across opposite that would be a QR code and a QR code that takes you to the NBS Welding YouTube channel. So if you see what I'm talking about, we would have a QR code here maybe, and a bull here, and then there would be a QR code here and a bull here. And you'd still have the NBS Welding going all the way around. And the background he's done, you should be able to tell. It's like an aluminum diamond plate. And I think it looks pretty cool. And it looks like a quality cup too. This, I don't think it's a cheapo cup. If you just see how that slides, and you know the thing fits. It's good stuff. So here's the deal. Like he was saying, well, I got to give you a price good enough that you can mark it up and make some money. I don't want to make some money on it. I want it to help Kenny out, and I want it to promote the channel. Because here's what I'm thinking about. If you guys would want one of these, and you're going to work, you know, I'm just imagining like how people, they go to work, you're in the truck with the guy, you're in the truck with your buddy, and you got your coffee or whatever, whatever you drink, you got it in your cup, and you get in the truck, and your buddy's like, what's that on your cup? That looks like a QR code. Well, scan it with your phone, and you'll see. And the guy goes to the NBS Welding channel, and then maybe we get somebody else that subscribes to the channel, and that would help the channel out. And you got like places where people work where there's like a break room, and people sitting around having their break or their lunch or whatever. They got their cup, and somebody sees the QR code and they can scan it. So the deal is, he was saying he was going to give me a deal on these at $18. And the thing is, like right now we're talking small quantities, you know. This would be, so if any of you are interested, I want to know if you would be willing to pay $18 plus the shipping for Kenny to make you one of these and ship it to you. So that's what it would cost, you know, around, I'm saying $18, and obviously the shipping is going to depend on where you're at. We're in Central West Virginia, so it depends on that. But let me know what you think. I just want to get the QR codes out there and get people scanning and get them to the channel. you know, Kenny was saying, well, I want you to be able to make some money on it. I'll give you a price where you can make some money on it. And if we can get into some quantity of them, maybe we can get a better price. But, you know, as of now, the time he's got to put in, you know, just to make a few of them, I think he's got to have the $18. Because he's got to print this thing. He's got to buy the cup. You know, he should get something for having the printer and designing the thing and printing it. And then he's got to put the wrap onto the cup. So, and the other thing I did was, like, I went online and I was looking at cups that have stuff on them that, you know, personalized like this. And where I was looking at them, I'm seeing them, you know, in the $20 to $35 range. So I don't think he's way off. And I don't know anything about the cost of any of this. I'm like anybody else. If something comes up, I'm going to do like a Google search on it. Like anybody's going to just do a Google search. And I'm finding where, you know, if you want something this elaborate with this much stuff on it, I did see some cheaper cups, and particularly like little water bottle type things. If they're printed like only on one side and the print is only one color, they're a lot cheaper. And I even saw them down to like $4 or $5 a piece. But you have to buy like a minimum of 50. Well, I mean, if I got to buy 50 of them at $5 a piece, I don't know if we're ready to put that investment in here yet. And, you know, it's what they're wanting to do on the one that's that cheap, wouldn't work for the idea that I've got. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's got to have the NBS bowl. And it's got to have the QR code. And the bowl has to be black, and the circle and the slash has to be red. You know, and those ones that were cheaper were like one color is all you get. It's like, it would be printed on the thing. It's not a full wrap. It's printed on one side. It's one color. It's not going to work for the idea that I got. So let's promote this for Kenny is what I'm saying. And, you know, you guys, whether you're interested or not, you can help me out just by giving me a comment. Like, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about the idea, or if you got an idea that'll help the channel, give me a comment. So, all right. Thank you, guys.